Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk English, your cozy little corner of the internet where we talk real English, real feelings, real life. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sarah, and we are so happy you are here with us today.
Yes, whether you are on your morning walk, making chai, sitting on a bus, or honestly, still in bed pretending to be a responsible adult.
We see you. We completely see you. And it is okay.
It is totally okay. Today is a good day because we have a really interesting topic. And honestly, Sarah, when I first thought of this topic, I got a little personally attacked.
Oh, really? Why?
Because I talk a lot. Like a lot. And the topic today is why silent people are often the smartest.
Oh, yes. Okay, so now I understand why you feel attacked.
Just a little, just a tiny bit.
But this is such a good topic, and I think so many of our listeners will connect with this. Because maybe you are the quiet one in your group. Maybe in class, you never raised your hand. Maybe at work, you listen more than you speak. And people around you think, oh, they have nothing to say.
Yes, and that is exactly what we want to talk about today. Because that idea that quiet equals empty is so wrong. It's actually often the opposite.
Exactly. And we will talk about real reasons, real science, real life stories. So stay with us.
And as always, this is a B1 level episode, so the English is clear, friendly, not too fast. If a word feels new, don't worry, we'll explain it. Just relax and listen.
Yes, and near the end of today's episode, we will also do our little word tour, where we slow down and explain some strong expressions from today's conversation. So even if something flies past you, we've got you.
We always have you. Okay, Sarah, so let's start with something simple. Do you consider yourself a quiet person or a talkative person?
Okay, so honestly, it depends. With people I don't know, I am very quiet. Like almost suspicious levels of quiet.
Suspicious. Like people wonder, what are you thinking?
Yes, exactly. My face is calm, I'm listening, I'm nodding, and people look at me like, is she okay? Does she not like us?
And meanwhile, your brain is doing what?
Meanwhile, my brain is running a full analysis. I am observing everyone in the room. I am noticing who interrupts who is nervous, who is performing, who is being real.
Wow, so you're like a quiet scientist.
Yes, a quiet scientist. I like that. And then with people I trust, I become very loud, very chatty, very me.
Okay, so that is actually the first big point, and it is so important. Quiet people are often not quiet because they have nothing to say. They're quiet because they're observing.
Yes, and observation, that word means to watch carefully and notice things. When you observe, you collect information, and that information is actually very powerful.
So while the loud person in the room is talking, the quiet person is watching, taking notes in their brain. And later, when they do speak, what they say is usually very thoughtful.
Thoughtful. That is a beautiful word for this. Thoughtful means you think carefully before you speak or act. It's not impulsive, which means doing something quickly without thinking.
Right. And here's something funny. Have you ever been in a meeting or a group discussion and one person is talking the whole time? Big energy, lots of words. And then, at the end, the quiet person in the corner says one sentence?
Oh, yes. And that one sentence is the most useful thing in the whole conversation.
Every time. And everyone looks at them like, wait, where did that come from?
It came from 45 minutes of listening carefully. That's where it came from.
Exactly. That is the power of the quiet person. They do not waste words. Every word they say has a reason.
And I think this is something that we underestimate. That word means we do not give it enough value. We underestimate the skill of listening. We live in a world that rewards the loudest voice, the most confident speaker, the person who takes up the most space.
Yes, and from childhood, even in school, the kid who raises their hand, who answers quickly, who speaks confidently, they are seen as smart. They get the gold star.
And the kid who sits quietly and thinks for a long time before answering, people think, oh, they don't know. They are slow. They are shy. But actually,
they might be processing at a much deeper level.
Yes, Processing. That means working through information in your mind. And some people process fast and out loud, and some people process slowly and silently. And the silent processor often understands more deeply.
Okay, I want to share something here. There is actually research, studies done by scientists that show introverts, that word means people who feel more comfortable alone or in quiet situations, introverts often score very high in areas like problem solving, creativity, and deep focus.
And some of the most famous, brilliant minds in history were known to be very quiet, very private. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest scientists ever, he was known as a very quiet, deeply thoughtful person.
Yes, and he actually said something very beautiful. He said, "The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind."
Oh, let's break that down for our listeners. Monotony means things that are a bit slow and repetitive, not exciting. Solitude means being alone, and stimulates means wakes up or activates.
So Einstein was saying quiet, calm, even boring situations, they actually wake up your creative brain.
Because when there is no noise, your mind has space to think, to wander, to make new connections.
Exactly. And this is something loud, busy environments actually take away. When you're always surrounded by noise and conversation and social pressure, your brain is always in reaction mode.
Yes, you are always responding, never creating.
And quiet people, they protect that space, sometimes on purpose, sometimes because they are simply more comfortable in it.
And I think there's something else really important here. Quiet people, they often have a very strong inner world. Inner world, that means the world inside your mind, your thoughts, your imagination, your values, your feelings.
Yes, and when your inner world is rich, you don't always need a lot of outside noise. You have a lot going on inside. You are having full conversations with yourself. You're thinking through problems. You are creating things in your imagination.
I had a friend in university, very quiet girl. She almost never spoke in class. Professors sometimes forgot she was there. And then she would submit her assignments, and every single time her work was exceptional. That word means much better than normal, outstanding.
And what did people say?
They were always surprised, like, where did this come from? And I remember thinking, it came from the same place it always comes from, her mind. She was just processing quietly the whole time.
That is so real. And it makes me think, how many times do we judge people too fast? We see someone quiet and we think, not confident, not smart, not interesting. And we are so wrong.
So wrong. And actually, here's something interesting. There's a difference between being quiet and being passive. Passive means you just accept everything and have no opinion.
Right. Quiet people are not passive. They have very strong opinions, very clear values. They choose, and that word is important, they choose when and where to share them.
They are selective. That word means they are careful about what they choose. A selective person does not give everything to everyone. They save the best for the right moment.
And that's actually a very wise way to live. Wise, that means having good judgment from experience and reflection.
Because not every space deserves your full energy. Not every conversation needs your deepest thoughts. And knowing that, knowing where to spend your mental energy, that's a kind of intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, which is a fancy way of saying you understand yourself and other people very well, and you use that understanding to make good decisions.
And quiet people often have very high emotional intelligence because they spend so much time observing people, watching how others react, noticing things most people miss.
Yes, they notice when someone is uncomfortable, even if they're smiling. They notice the small change in someone's voice. They read the room. That means they understand the emotional atmosphere of a situation.
And reading the room is a skill. A real skill that helps in relationships, in business, in leadership, in everything.
Okay, Sarah, can I ask you something? And this might be a little personal.
Uh-oh. Okay, go ahead.
Was there a moment, a specific moment, where you realized that your quiet nature was actually a strength and not a weakness?
Yes. Yes, actually. So I used to feel very bad about being quiet in social situations. I would go home after a party or a dinner and feel like, why didn't I say more? Why did I just sit there? What is wrong with me?
That guilty feeling.
Yes, and I was comparing myself to louder, more talkative people, thinking they seem more confident, more likable, more successful even.
And then?
And then I got a job, my first real office job, and there was this team meeting every Monday morning. Big table, everyone talking, ideas flying everywhere, very loud, very fast. And I would sit there quietly, taking it all in, and sometimes I felt invisible. But then, after the meeting, people would come to me privately, one by one, and they would say, Sarah, what do you think? What is your opinion on this?
Oh, they came to you separately.
Yes, because they knew she was paying attention, she was thinking, and when Sarah speaks, it means something.
That is so powerful. So your quietness built trust.
Yes, because I was not performing. I was not saying things just to be heard. When I spoke, it was because I had something real to contribute, and people felt that.
And that's the thing. Silence can build a kind of authority. Authority, that means people respect you and trust your judgment. And sometimes the person who speaks less earns more authority because when they speak, people listen.
Exactly. And I stopped seeing my quietness as something to fix. I started seeing it as information, as a signal about who I am and how I work.
I love that. A signal, not a flaw.
Not a flaw. That word, flaw, means a mistake or an imperfection, something wrong with you. And for so long, I thought my quietness was a flaw, but it was never a flaw. It was just me.
And here's something for our listeners who might be quiet and who have felt the same way Sarah just described. Maybe people told you you were too serious, you're boring, you're cold, you need to talk more.
And maybe you believed them. Even a little.
Yes, but I want to say this clearly. Being quiet is not the same as being broken. There's nothing wrong with processing slowly, with speaking carefully, with choosing silence over noise.
In fact, in many cultures and traditions, silence is deeply respected. In Japan, for example, there is a concept called ma, which means meaningful pause, the space between words, and it's considered very elegant, very wise.
Yes, silence is not empty. Silence is full of things you haven't said yet.
Oh, I like that. Silence is full, not empty. Full.
Okay, and before we go to our word tour, I want to mention one more thing. There's a difference between healthy quiet and unhealthy quiet. Because we're not saying never speaking, never sharing, never connecting is good.
Right, that's important. If someone is quiet because they're afraid, because they feel they don't deserve to be heard, that's something different. That's something to work on.
Yes, we're talking about people who are quiet by nature, by choice, by personality, not people who are suppressing, hiding things that need to come out.
Because your voice matters. Your words matter. Even if you use them carefully, even if you use them rarely.
Exactly. Your silence should be a choice, not a cage.
Oh, Mike, that was beautiful.
Thank you, Sarah. And thank you, all of you, for spending this time with us. This is Let's Talk English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sarah. Keep listening, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye, everyone.